I'm Jeanette Rooker, Charles' sister. I've come to collect this box. You see, about 2 years ago, Charles gave me instructions that upon his death I was to collect it and hold it until it was called for.
By whom, Mrs. Rooker?
I don't know. Charles said they would have a letter from him, and whoever showed it to me was to receive the box.
Do you know what's in it?
I did just look now. Nothing much of interest, really. Just files filled with a variety of financial records.
Did you notice if anything was marked on the files?
Yes, Lindsay and Company. They were filled with securities and bonds. I don't know what to make of it.
Nor do I. Do you mind if I take those papers to Sherlock Holmes for closer study?
No, I'm sorry. I did make a promise to my brother. And now I really must return home. Good day.
Past midnight last night, I picked up a young woman at that place where you said the murder was. She wanted me to make a stop at the Elephant Castle, and then I took her out.
Sorry, but Mr. Chambers left for Africa 3 weeks ago, so he can add to his collection of dead animal heads on his study wall. Appalling, isn't it?
Indeed.
My stepson was not welcome in this house. He was a no-good monkeyman. No good.
Leslie, dear.
Quiet, darling. I'll handle this. He spent all of his time in card rooms and bedrooms. I threw him out of the house 6 years ago and haven't seen him since. The only question I have is why someone hasn't killed him before this.
Oh, Astley!
I'm afraid you'll have to leave. You're upsetting my wife.
Astley, I'm not...
Quiet, darling. I'll handle this. I tried to make a man of him, but couldn't. Perhaps if he'd gone grouse hunting with me in Scotland, I could have. You must leave now. Good day.
Good day. Ellis is in France, but he left you a telegram, Holmes.
Let's have a look. Paris, June 4th, 1890. Arrived Paris, June 1st. Moran on the same train. Yesterday saw Moran and Moriarty with Giraud. Signed Ellis. Oh, I shudder to imagine those three scoundrels keeping company.
What were you doing at Roland Jacquard's house this morning?
I didn't do nothing to nobody. Leave me alone.
Well, you were spotted at the scene of the crime. Did you murder Jacquard?
I didn't murder nobody. It was Marco. Marco, my brother.
Thank you.
Mr. Escobedo, wake up, please.
What do you want? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Watson. I need to ask you a few questions about Roland Jacquard.
I can tell you nothing. I did not even know him.
You know who he was?
Yes. He was ladies' man. He was interested in my lady.
Letitia Garcia.
He did not love her the way I love her. What difference does it make? He's dead. Now go away!
Where were you last night?
At the Ring. Then I go to a restaurant.
Which one?
Spaniards Inn. Then I come home and go to bed. I have a big fight tomorrow. I'm in training. I need my sleep.
Do you know who might have wanted to kill Jacquard?
No. And I don't care. Now go away! I have to get up and go to the gym.
I've just spent a grueling day at the Bank of England and Drummond's trying to determine the extent of the loss Mr. Ravel has caused our firm.
How do you suppose he managed it?
It was so simple. Once he knew the accounts and their account numbers, it was only a matter of transferring the money into letters of credit, or any account he chose.
How did he learn the account numbers?
Now, that's the mystery. Neil Patterson and myself are the only ones who have access to that information.
Is there no one else?
There's Mrs. Lindsay, but all of her dealings with the firm are handled through her solicitor, Charles Abad.
Abad? Do you mean a Todd?
Oh, yes, that's the chap.
Miss Garcia, I know this must be difficult for you.
Roland Jacquard and I were very good friends. We had fun together. I know nothing about his death.
When did you last see him?
2 days ago.
Think hard, Miss Garcia. Who might have wanted him dead?
I told you, I don't know anything about it, and I mean it. Now leave me alone at once.
Oh, I see.
Mr. Jacquard was a good customer, a collector of handguns. He wasn't shot, was he?
No.
Good. Bad for business to have one's customers die from gunshots. What do you need to know?
The purchases he's made from you over the past year.
Let me check my sales books. Here we are. On the 7th of March of this year, he had a special order. A 30 caliber La Fourchaux pistol. Nice little French beauty. Before that, he bought an American-made pepper box, and we sent it at his request to Charles Attard.
I'm interested in a Mauser T11.
Got one right here. We are the only shop in London that carries this little beauty. It takes an 11mm cartridge that's guaranteed to stop an elephant. You planning a safari then?
Oh, good heavens, no. I'm investigating a murder. Might you tell me how many have been sold?
2. One to Ralph Chambers, the big game hunter, on the 10th of May. Yves Metier bought the other one on the 19th of May.
By any chance, do you know a Roland Jacquard?
Gun collector. Met him once or twice. He took his business to the Grand Arms Company. Didn't sit right with him buying guns from a lady.
The Mauser T11? No, sir, we don't stock it. Do you know who does? Try M. Richards. You might have some luck there.
I believe Attard was in the pay of Moriarty.
So he sought not justice, but protection of the underworld from justice.
Indeed, I'm afraid you're right, Holmes.
The funny thing about these murders is no one in the underground is talking. Whenever I mention it, they clam up.
I see and hear everything. Last night I stayed up late reading Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. I just couldn't put it down. When at about 12:30, a woman came running out of Mrs. Jacquard's house and got into a passing hansom. Then, about an hour later, a delivery wagon pulled up to Jacquard's house. A man went to the door, and a few minutes later, 2 men came out carrying a rug.
A rug?
Well, that's what it looked like to me. They put it in the wagon and then drove away.
Do you recall what they looked like, Mrs. Ivory?
No, it was too dark. But I do recall what it said on the delivery wagon.
Excellent work. What was it?
Landmark Limited. Would you like to stay for tea?
That's very kind, Mrs. Ivory, but I must be going. I have a murder to solve.
Pity.
I'm interested in one of your delivery wagons.
Do you need to move a stiff?
No, I'm referring to the fact that one of your wagons was seen last night near Russell Square.
Russell Square? Last night? Damn that Escobedo.
Escobedo?
Juan Escobedo, my worker. I've told him never to take that wagon without telling me.
Are you certain it was he?
I only have one wagon and one employee. I wondered why there was a rug on the back of it this morning. Now it all makes sense.
Do you know where Juan Escobedo is now?
He reported in sick. But if you track him down, tell him he's fired.
I've been thinking it over, Holmes, and I've decided that I don't need outside help. The case is progressing adequately, and you are dismissed.
Sorry, Inspector, but one should never begin to eat from a plate if one has no intention of finishing the meal. I have no choice but to continue.
You are as persistent as a gnat. I'll give you my report, but please take it and leave. That's odd. I saw it here this morning.
You've misplaced the report, Inspector?
Sorry.
I suppose I must have been blind not to see it, Mr. Holmes. But it appears Mr. Ravel has embezzled over £6,000 of negotiable securities and letters of credit.
How did he manage to accomplish that, Mr. Patterson?
I don't know. Trust and secrecy are crucial in our firm. No one but my partner and I know our clients' portfolios. Ravel would have had to request each security by number from the right bank. So far, securities have been found missing from 3 banks.
Your partner is Mr. Lindsay?
No, he died 4 years ago. His wife, Kathleen, owns his shares, but does not actively participate in the business. My partner's name is Jeffrey Farber, but what does this have to do with anything? All I hope is that you may shed some light on this crime, Mr. Holmes.
The Thames River is the longest and most important waterway in England. Roman writers referred to it as the Thamesis, and the name, meaning broad river, is probably Celtic in origin. The river has been deepened below London Bridge so that the largest ships can reach the docks of London. Oh, and listen to this, Holmes.
If I must.
It has been said that it is the most important river in the world because it runs liquid history.
At the moment it is running with the blood of our victims. Let us carry on, shall we, Watson?